Go Jackets.
What is going on, everyone, and welcome to WreckTalk. So there's a lot of movement going on here in the tech circle and some drama in the tech reporting world. Let's get into it. Football Scoop broke this, which Kelly Quinlan does not like. We'll get into that some more. Let's go to my right screen capture here. Sources: Georgia Tech making major changes in defensive staff as it prepares for a bowl game later this month, and to move forward under Brent Key, Georgia Tech is making some significant changes to its defensive staff. Multiple sources tell Football Scoop the Yellow Jackets are parting ways with safeties coach Andrew Thacker and defensive backs coach Tillman. Now, if you've been living under a rock, Andrew Thacker started the season, and I believe this is his 5th season with Georgia Tech, as their defensive coordinator. He's one of 2 holdover coaches. I guess you could count Winky in that, but Winky came in like Keys last year. But Thacker was Georgia Tech's defensive coordinator. Strangely, very odd to me, demoted midseason. Kevin Scherer is made defensive coordinator. Anyways, Football Scoop reports that they are parting ways with Tech. I assume that means they're fired. There's no way Thacker would resign and leave money on the table, right? I think he's been bumped to like $450 a year or more, maybe $500,000. I don't know how many years he has left on his contract, or Tavares Tillman, but I'm sure we're going to have to pay them. I'm sure waiting till now reduces their buyout somewhat. Be interesting to see. Other thing is, what does this mean for Kevin Scherer? Kevin Scherer is a linebackers coach. If you've been watching the channel for any length of time, or if you've listened to anything Tantor's had to say, and I agree with it, this is the worst linebacker play we've probably ever seen at Tech, bar none. Even under the Collins era. That's what Kevin Scherer coached. So it's hard for me to imagine we're going to retain Scherer as well. Maybe we move on from him after the bowl game, but that's not generally how this stuff is done. You generally want to get ahead of the curve, hire your DC before then. It is unfortunate for Thacker. We kind of quickly forget last year that the defense was what kept us in ball games. Our defense was kind of hidden behind an offense that put them in horrible positions. I think they were ranked around 50, 60th in the country in most stats, except for turnovers gained. If our offense didn't turn it over in its own deep in its own territory, that defense probably would have been ranked at top 30. So it's unfortunate. I think a few things. I think part of it is just we lost a lot of personnel that there wasn't really much you were going to be able to do. We had some key injuries with Sylvain Yanjuan. But I do also agree with Tantor that we probably didn't play to the strengths of our defense this year. It definitely could have been coached better. And when you have the 120th ranked defense, 132nd ranked run defense, there's going to be some staff changes at the end of the year. I mean, there's no way your defense can be that bad and you don't have some staff changes on that side of the ball. In Key's bowl game press conference, he said he's never been a part of a staff that there wasn't some kind of coaching turnover. May it be, coaches getting hired, coaches getting fired. It happens at the end of almost every year for almost every team. So, with that being said, this is from the Rumble seat. So initially, yesterday, Georgia Tech officially announced that Thacker and Tillman are being reassigned to off-the-field roles. From the Rumble Scene article says, from its understanding, this means Georgia Tech will be able to retain both for a time while they search for 2 new coaches. It remains to be seen what the future holds. It was a winding web yesterday. Then Kelly, and this is why Kelly's pissed. And since Kelly wants to take shots at people, I'll take a shot at Kelly. Kelly Quinlan, 647 yesterday, reports that changes are expected on the defensive staff, but Brent Key's timeline was set for after a bowl game. Additionally, he confirms that Thacker and Tillman have been out recruiting this week. And here's Kelly Quinlan's little tweet about it. He tweets, change is expected. Basically what I just read. He says, Football Scoop reported that Andrew Thacker and Travaris Tillman are out. Both were out recruiting, so that's odd. Which, reading in between the lines there, he's saying, Football Scoop's full of shit. That's what he's saying. Now, John Bryce of Football Scoop reported that Georgia Tech had parted ways with these guys, again, while Kelly is saying that they're being reassigned or waiting till after bowl season to be reassigned. And here is Football Scoop's tweet. I haven't seen any other Georgia Tech reporters confirming the report, although Kelly Quinlan took a weird pot shot typo at John. And I'll show you what he said. Football Scoop saying they're out, working to confirm on my end. This is Kelly Quinlan. Of course, Bryce had the wrong Brent as the head coach of the Jackets, so I'd like to confirm this more. What's that about? Well, Kelly has egg on his face because he reported something, someone else reported something different within a few hours of each other. So now Kelly feels like he looks stupid. Which I don't think is the case. But like, if this is true, here's the thing. And I've said this before in a live show, but I'll say it in a video. And I'm not a part of this. Like, there's like a Bryce Kuhn versus Kelly kind of feud. I don't know, like a rivals versus whoever feud. I'm just going on what I see. That a credentialed media person is responding to this like I would is embarrassing. And I think Kelly should be embarrassed. Taking a shot over a typo, that's a kid that got his lolly taken and he's crying about it. Like, I'm sorry, Kelly. That's what it is. Kelly also, like, someone asked him in one of his live shows where he talks in the most monotone, like he could give a crap voice. If he ever watched like me or C-Dog, and he said, I would never watch a Georgia Tech podcast, which is fine, whatever. Maybe it's because I have more subscribers. I don't know. Who knows? Who can say? I think it's a bad look for Kelly that, and John Bryce commented on it, said, made a typo, it happens, thanks, Kelly. Then Kelly, instead of doubling down, which I think's the only thing you can do, gets his tampon out and says, all good, I'm just wrapping my head around the weird deal because these dudes are still working, so it's interesting that it got leaked to you like that. Kelly thinks that he's the only one. He has some special privilege to this stuff, and he doesn't. He's super in his feelings that this got reported before him. And look, it could come out that Kelly's right and John Bryce is wrong. Who knows? That's why I wouldn't take a pot shot at the guy. But that's all I have to say about this as far as like Kelly versus John Bryce. It's also funny that this guy's named Bryce, and you have like the Bryce Coon, Kelly Quinlan thing. But anyways, like I said, when your defense is as bad as it's been, and as fortunate as it kind of is for Thacker, because I don't think Thacker's a bad coach, for the record. I think he didn't coach as well as he could have as a coordinator, call, necessarily great games as a coordinator this season, but I think he has. And people, I don't know, like people will say, well, you got to make the most of the players you have, which I agree with. Well, he was a good coordinator last year because he had good players. What coordinator isn't, though? Like, what coordinator can just have, major personnel issues and, a really good defense? The counter to that would be, well, and I've said this too, there's no excuse for being as bad as we are as we were on defense this season. No excuse whatsoever. And I agree with that too. So let me know what you guys think. Lot of moving pieces in this offseason. I'm sure this isn't the only staff turnover we'll have. I need to get some videos out. As you guys know, I've kind of been taking a break, catching my breath here. We need to talk about portal. Need to talk about this bowl, Gasparilla Bowl. First bowl since 2018. A lot of good things happening. Y'all have a good one.